On today's Let's Talk FGO, Raid Aftermath, KYOMAF campaign, and FGO the Temple of Solomon, Temple of Time stage? Question mark? Yes. I asked you a question and I answered it. Hello, I am Omega. That's what I do. With me as always, he is the steak eggs.
Oi.
Lucky.
Maybe I should have actually made eggs. That'd have been hilarious. Oh, well, too late for that joke. I hope everyone is enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka Getting the Ghost. And while we here at Studio Mega like to bring you the latest and FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for both the JP and EM version of the game. So anyone not want to spoilers should make sure to stop leaving your friends behind.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you could have gone for the next level meme and made steak and eggs, but that would have required a lot of extra effort.
Yeah, but I had steaks and potatoes and green beans, and it was delicious.
I thought about saying the steak to my eggs, but that's like, no, that doesn't work unless I went like egghead. Just call myself a nerd. I point in the mirror and say, nerd. Anyway, hi, this is Let's Talk FGO. And this show is, as always, brought to you by our lovely patrons, which includes, but is not limited to, Adam Harp, Architect 10, Plexto G, Carlos Dragon, Ferris, Jerry Vasquez, Just the Fae, John Sandoval, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rise of Kenji, Rogue Robyn, Sharvar, Sean Pyre, some guy named Bob, 723, and Varen the Crow. If you like what we do and want to do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early, lots for the goodies, and it really helps us out. Thank you for your support, everybody. Sorry, I think I bit my tongue recently. It feels a little fat in my mouth. Blah. Mm-hmm. Okay, but we're starting. Yes, we have many things to talk about. Though I should probably, assuming this goes up in an orderly fashion, should probably make sure to go ahead and fire up a little bit of the business talk for everybody. And just mention that it is once again that time of year, and there, is a hurricane once again barreling towards me. Not directly at me, but, there's a lot of wiggle room. Let's see, he's what, 9? Yeah, it's just going to scooch into the States somewhere. So probably around Tuesday or Wednesday, but it's going fast, so we don't know. So if per any chance regular schedules get updated for anything, that's why. And hilariously, Hurricane Fiona is going to hit fucking Canada.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, if like I said, if anything goes wrong with our usual scheduling, this should be fine. Like I said, it should not be in the actual area of Florida until Tuesday or Wednesday, but it is apparently traveling pretty fast, so we'll see how that works out. But we may or may not get some interruptions in your regular schedule.
We will see.
But speaking of which, it's time to check in with everybody's favorite Kohai, Mesh.
Senpai, okite kudasai.
It's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai Rank 7 for pro tips. I didn't really have a good pro tip this week, so I took a suggestion from Lucky, and I just want to say, hey, don't quit raids just because you got what you want.
Or you didn't get what you want.
Or you did, it's true. If you missed, put some effort in. They are, communal. They're not necessarily always personal raids, so there's some effort there. We'll discuss some of the specifics later, but the raid everybody wanted to do, which was steak and eggs, hence the joke. Night steaks and cosmic eggs. That one went down in about 3 hours, I want to say. I think it was like 3 hour almost exactly.
Was it? I thought it was closer to 4 hours, but it was like, I don't remember exactly.
It was 3-something a.m. It was fast.
New.
It became speed. It was very easy for me to track because it started at midnight my time. But yeah, it went through pretty quickly. So while there were a couple more that went down pretty fast, definitely as time went on, some of those raids clears got a little more anemic. And obviously I understand, everybody got shit to do. But if we'd kept the same level of passion up, I suspect that we might have cleared like all the raids in a couple of days. Well, actually, I think we did in a couple of days, technically. More like one day. But, I understand. People gotta sleep. But still, it's very hard for one man to solo all the raids. So we gotta work together. But from there... Stretched. Ooh, that's high praise. Somebody in patron chat saying we were faster than JP by a couple of minutes. Neat. Well, we know what we want, and we all knew what we wanted right away, so. But let's move on to regular Records from the Throne, our regular achievement topic. I almost said regular from the throne. That's not right at all. On my end, I have protected Saito's smile, and you may be wondering why I haven't done more of that. Well, that's because at the end of the story, I did one more celebratory 10 spin, as you do. You usually do. You get a little extra in there. And I did get Himiko out of it. No flair, no extra pomp and circumstance, just, doing skip gang, get a servant. It's just a gold card, but it was a gold ruler and it was Himiko. I was not bamboozled. So that's yet another thing I have to work on with my EXPs. That reminds me, while we're doing the show, I should log in and go to my EXP farm.
Go to your farm! So, for me, Lucky, after I completed the main story, was like, nope, I gotta roll. And so I did. And I did walk away with a Himiko. You know, everyone marked 0 days since Lucky burned his fire. But I also got MP5 Mordred and MP5 Altera. And of course, after that, I definitely went on to protect Himiko's smile. So that's very, very nice. Do you want to hear what's not nice? Let's move over to Not All the World's Evil, but damn close. I got those MP5s on the Saber OKITA raid up. You monsters! I swear to fucking God, I'm like, my knife hand is like so fucking high at this fucking banner. And the thing that kills me about this is I still don't got any USOs. Both Altera and Mordred were NP4, and I'm just like, all right, another permanent NP5 I got. Thanks. And I had to make a fucking vow on my soul. And I have to abstain from junk food and fast food and eating out for like 3 more weeks so I can justify the cost of me spending how many 80 packs I did. It was 4 80 packs, but I got fucking Himiko on the first roll of the 4th pack, and I was like, it's Saber Okita Day. I want me a Saber Okita. And spent all of that, and I got Altera Mordred. I'm just all like, I'm dead, I'm dying, why have I been cursed like this? This fucking monkey paw bullshit, motherfucking stupid ass. Don't say the C word. No one likes the C word. I don't know why people don't like to say the C word, but they don't like the C word.
Unfortunately, they don't. It is one of the few words, and the other 2 words are explicitly slurs that YouTube directly says, don't say that word.
Yes, but I had to...
Yeah, it's self-censor. It's okay. We caught it.
I had to do a hard stop there. Well, yeah, I understand that, USOs, unless you get 10, aren't really worth any, but it still flabbergasts me to this day that I have not gotten a single, despite how much I have played this game and how much I spent on this game. Once I get MP5 of a servant of an SSR, it just stops. I have MP5 Waver, I have MP5 John, I have MP5 Artoria, I have MP5 Arjuna, I have MP5 Mordred, I have MP5 Altera. I have MP5 Tamamo. That was a very intentional thing on my part. The rest just kind of happens. Ugh. I have to answer your question, Max, I have quite a few servants there I do not have, but most of them are limited SSRs. I think I have just about every SR and permanent there is out there. But what I don't have is limiteds. All limited SSRs, I believe. But that's me. And yes, I have to abstain for 3 to 4 weeks because usually throughout the week I usually order out or go out about 3 times a week, and I spend anywhere between $30 to $40 doing so. So that's $90 to $120 a week I just spend on junk food, really. So that's that's a full pack and a half almost there. So if I'm off several weeks, I will recoup what I spend and a little bit extra on top. Oh God, that's the thing. That is the fucking thing. I wasn't necessarily sold on Himiko. I thought she was nice. But that scene at the end with Himiko and Io, I'm like, oh no, I am crushed. I have to roll now. Nemo, I'm not worried about Nemo. Nemo's permanent. Listen, this is the man who literally gets fucking everything. I'm not worried about rolling Nemo.
Literally just talked about how you got 2 more NPs on permanent units trying to roll for a limited.
But I am concerned about the Van Gogh, but no, I'm not worried about Nemo. Nemo's permanent. Nemo will show up eventually. But no, the scene with Himiko and Io, I was just like, oh no, this is too precious. I have to roll now. I mean,
that's where I did my. Normally, I do that with the acknowledgement that I'm gonna eat a min roll and go home sad. But occasionally, the forlorn extra 10 roll works. Obviously, I did very well this time, but I'm gonna tell you, trust me. You probably don't remember the stories because I don't say them, but there have been a lot of forlorn at the end of story 10 rolls on the banner that have not gone anywhere. And also, this event is cool and stuff, and we're going to talk about that later.
We'll talk about it later. We have it in the notes.
Yep. And we'll continue to fire off through our notes. Though if you want our initial impressions of the event and some other stuff, basically everything pre-raids, I put raid in the title, so I don't know why you didn't click on the last one, but go watch last week's video. It exists.
It exists.
It's underperforming a little bit for some reason. Not sure about that one. And yet, quite a lot of extra people. Still obviously not the same numbers, because for some reason, if you guys click on this, you won't click on what's up. Why? You pain me. You shame me. You bring dishonor to my house. But last week's What's Up was like 5 hours, and we got more views than usual for a What's Up on that. So, metrics. Proportional views. But let's move on to something that I'm sure you all care about. Did you finish your master missions? Now, when I start to read this, you might think there's an error, but no. These are different. There are new master missions this week. But to complete them all, I'm going to need you to perform 30 FP summons, defeat 15 undead enemies, defeat 15 male enemies, defeat 15 and then 30 cavalry class enemies, excluding servants or certain bosses, so that's riders, casters, assassins, and berserkers, and then clear 5 quests with an assassin in your party. Now, like I said, if you thought for a little bit there that was last week's master missions, I understand. But no, they are different. Now, to do this one, it's pretty simple. You can just do the event. Most of your free quest mats farming will clear this. There are indeed undeads, males, and stuff in there. There are, of course, plenty of cavalry class enemies to beat up. And to do the assassin clear, just put an assassin in your party. And obviously continue to do FP summons for more CE, XPs, and Nobukatsus and stuff. If that is not enough, there are a couple of nodes in Orleans, which are really good for males and undeads. I think it's Marseille is one of them. What was the name of the other one? Hold on. Go to the notes.
Doobly-doo.
It is La Charite. So, Marseille should be 9 males, 9 undeads. La Charite is 10 males, 10 undeads. So that's a little more efficient. But that should only be if you need to polish up leftovers. Like I said, if you're doing free quest farming, you should take care of most of these pretty well. And so, let us go to the news. So, Skelegrams.
Skelegrams.
We only have a couple of things, but they are news, and they did happen. First of all, in the Japans, there was the Chaldea Radio Plus event. There were some lovely ladies there. It was very funny. Buster-san showed up to deliver a Nissan letter. Sorry, slammed my phone on my desk. So we have a KYOMAF 2022 campaign back again. So we're doing this again. It's good to see it return. It was tied to a physical event, and boy howdy, was this a humdinger of a thing. Lucky, I believe, and we may even both have joked about a Gudaguda banner. And during my wanted Himiko, I was definitely like, there's no way there won't be another Himiko raid up somewhere in here with this new event. But I believe we may have slightly misunderestimated the scope, because there is a huge series of Gudaguda raid-up banners. So you've got different banners for Mao Nobunaga, Hijikata, Himiko, Okita, Okuni, Okita Altar, Lancer Ryoma. And on these raid-ups, you will also find sometimes Summer Nobu, Saito, Summer Okita, and Mori. Mori is on raid-up all the time, I believe. We're giving him the Izo treatment. He's there all the way. And all of these are separate banners for all the SSRs. I believe the pairings are the ones that make sense. So I'm pretty sure it's Summer Okita with regular Okita and Summer Nobu with Mao Nobu, etc.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a giant pile of banners. Now, all of these separate banners, this is great for us, assuming they do a similar scheme over here in a couple of years. All of these banners include the Shin Yamataikoku CEs.
Yes.
So, if for some reason you did not want to roll Sen no Ryukyu and Yamanami, which, first of all, why though? But why?
I love Yamanami.
No, he's great. I'm rolling on that banner in 2 years just for him. But in case you didn't want to do that, or you only rolled just enough to get your brand new servants and stopped, and you didn't get a full set of CEs, you can continue on these and you will get the new CEs for them. So that's a very good policy as well.
Very nice.
Also, we got some rank ups tied into this. So, Okita Altar, Okiten's first skill now gives her 20 to 30% damage versus enemies of the Heaven attribute for 3 turns. So this is on her Buster and Quick Up. So just rounding out her damage a little bit, that's pretty good. Okita Altar has suffered from a little bit of anemic damage for alter egos in the past. Also, Mori's second skill, which gives him his on attack buff, is now just 3 turns, not 3-3. I think they probably thought that maybe making it 3-3 would balance it out a little bit, and I guess it's a little a little anemic otherwise. Now it's just for 3 turns. If he attacks, he sticks he gets attack, they get defense down debuff, I believe, on. So yeah, pretty solid. Not directly related to this campaign, but as Shin Yamataikoku has unfolded, there have been a couple of other updates there. So those are more story related. We'll probably get into those in a free talk, talking about some Senno Riku got her last couple Ascension sprites, stuff like that. But those are not directly related to a campaign, so I figure we can get into them later. But yes, good buffs, probably good banners, lots of people coming back on rotation. Though, obviously, I will say, the Gudaguda crew get a decent amount of rate-ups with this regularity. And this is just a return to form now that KYOMAF is actually, if you don't know, if you haven't picked up on that in previous episodes, or perhaps this is your first time hearing about it, because it's been a couple of years, but that's a in-person event. Is it KYOMAF Festival? That's why I pronounce KYOMAF?
Yeah, it's the Kyoto International Manga Anime Fair.
Okay, yeah. So it's half an acronym and half a portmanteau.
Literally, yeah, because it's Kyo for Kyoto, then Manga Anime Fair.
Only in Japan. But yeah, so that obviously hasn't been held for a little bit because of that darned Backstreet Boys reunion tour. So bringing it back. If you're curious how that would shake out for us over here, in Future Past land, that will almost assuredly be a back-to-school campaign or something in future.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely around this timeline.
Yeah. That the timing works out very well. So
yeah, 2 weeks earlier. Yeah, no, it's perfect.
Yeah, slots right in. The other thing was shocking most people, I think, because there was no build-up to this at all, but in NA, the Fate Grand Order the Stage, the Grand Temple of Time, Solomon Ars Nova release campaign. That's the stage play. Starts on the 21st of this month, so it's already going, and goes until the 12th of October, because the Solomon stage play is now streaming on Crunchyroll, apparently.
Where's the other ones?
I don't know. I am perplexed. I am rustled. I am possibly bamboozled. I don't know what is happening, but I will take the event. Because there is a total login bonus for 3 apples and 5 sync quartz total. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
I like stuff.
Also, double suck chance on related servants, and we get a rotating rate up between Gil. Couldn't resist, huh?
Nope.
Had to get his banner in, at least once a year banner in somewhere. And Ozymandias with Lancelot, Saber by the way, Kazgil, and Cascoon rate up all the time. So, honestly, a decent rate up. I know Gil's on rate up all the time. We joke about how he's not even limited, but, this is his yearly one. Ozymandias is here. Saber Lancelot's really good, and Casco is story locked. So, this is a decent banner, a decent way to give us new content in NA without necessarily just dogpiling, giving us some extra shit to do. So that's nice. And again, I appreciate the total login bonus. Mm-hmm. Well, he might not. We don't know. Somebody said we're talking like Gil isn't getting another banner on Thanksgiving, and I'm like, I don't know though. Maybe they'll get a more flexible. But yeah, so this is a decent little event, and there's some extra apples. I don't have either of the SSRs on that banner. No, I don't have Oz, by the way. My luck with writers is almost as bad as my luck with assassins. I went years before I got a Drake. I do have several NPs in my Casgill. And I do believe I have an NP5 Cascu, because I used to roll on story. But yeah, so an interesting little event, a little surprising. I guess I'm glad that they remembered to bring us this. I do not believe that, as Lucky pointed out, that I never heard if Crunchyroll got the catalog to the Blu-ray versions to stream the Camelot and the Babylonia stage plays. So that's weird, but here we are. And that's it for the news as far as I know. At least the directly FGO-related news. We have some speculatory news in the back half.
Yes. So, with that, let us switch on over to this week's Let's Talk FGO mailbag, the segment where we read what you have to say and comment accordingly. This week, this is mea culpa. I accidentally did this too late, but we only have 10. Nope. I meant to do it Wednesday, but I forgot, and it got posted Thursday.
Also,
well, it wasn't the...
Roll one more.
What?
Roll it again.
What?
Refresh.
Oh.
F5.
We're at 11 now. But there's like 2 reasons to my forgetting, because I wanted to like spice up the mailbag post. I wanted to put the terabit mailbag image I have in there. But I don't know why, and I can't figure it out. It might be because the image was too small, but anytime I tried to post it, the image would get blown up and just the resolution would be like just be horribly scuffed. And I was just like, I hate this. So I was fucking around with it like several times trying to fix it and make it look nice and be like, oh yes, but I literally couldn't get it to work.
Yeah, I suspect YouTube is probably just
Yeah, just that image, just right there. I was just gonna put that so everyone can see it, have a nice little visual cue. But nay, it was not to be. So I faffed around on that, forgot, and then Thursday I had to be like, all right, someone remind me to do this. I'll give you Lucky Bucks. And then I invented a horrible, horrible system that I will most assuredly regret. You can buy many things with Lucky Bucks. You get enough Lucky Bucks, you can request Lucky to sing something for you or narrate something for you. You can make weird requests. You can ask him to unblock you on Twitter. You can ask him to make you emotes. Stuff like that. There's many things you can do with Lucky Bucks. No, I don't. Lucky Bucks is completely at my whim until I actually got something down. Although I do have a spreadsheet with people who have Lucky Bucks. There's only 3 people who have Lucky Bucks right now. Baron the Crow actually has 100, because they're the one that actually remind me of both the mailbag and to actually make a document to keep track of Lucky Bucks. Legendary Moon also have 10, because they hung out with me as I waxed poetical about my life.
Look, the Lucky Buck economy is complex and rich.
Just like the real economy. We got to talking about... I am honestly pretty sure I came up with Lucky Bucks just as a semi-joke, because we were talking about the digital yuan, or however you pronounce the digital Chinese currency. I was like, fuck it, I'll throw out Lucky Bucks. And it stuck. Lucky will do what he wants, Axe. Let's see here. But we have 11, and we shall get started right now. This first one comes from a master planning the homecoming party for EO while trying to avoid the scary-looking girl brewing tea in the corner. I'm just thinking it's no Riku just aggressively, like, whisking tea in the corner. I can see it. But they say, hey guys, hope your time in Yamataikoku has been enjoyable. The farming has been great, and I love Homiko. You know, that's just the camera glance right there, that pause. And Nobukatsu in this event. For my question this week, how long do you think, within the story, we spend the various Lost Belts? Some I feel like get wrapped up in a couple weeks, while others feel like they take a few months. It's fascinating to think how far we've come and all the crazy adventures we've had along the way. Sending you the good vibes. Wah, 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 wah. And as always, never, never. P.S. My birthday was Wednesday, and it's crazy to think 30 years have gone by. Here's hoping that Ibuki and Vitra answer my summon as my present for this year. Well, first off, very happy late birthday, and I hope you have good luck with that. But on to your first bit, time is wibbly wobbly. I think there's even a point at some point in the story when, you know, a character asks you if you can drink, and you're just all like, I don't even fucking know how old I am right now.
Yeah, is that, I think that's the Tengu. She invites you to a drink, and if you've completed, like, Lost Belt 5, you're just like, I don't fucking know. Like, if you're earlier in the story, you're just like, I'm clearly underage. If you're later, it's like, what is time? I don't feel like consuming sake will help my current situation.
But I do kind of agree that, honestly, I think in a lot of, like, Lost Spell specifically, it's only, like, a few days. I think, like, as they go on in writing, the writers of FGO have gotten better about clearly, you know, splitting up time. Like, you know, you'll crash, you'll wake up, you'll, you know, mention about days and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, the entire, like, I'm pretty sure the entire, Atlantis, Olympus adventure took, like, under a week.
Yes.
It was a lot of shit happened, but you know.
We only had a very limited number of sleeps in that period.
Yeah.
Whereas I think that at the very least you know, whatchamacallit? Yeah, I almost mixed 2 names there. I wanted to say Yukestra and then say, but technically Lost Belt 1 is, even though it's the Yaga, it's Anastasia. The Russian one was, you know, several days at a time because we were traveling on foot everywhere, right?
Right.
And, like, we were, you know, making camp and stuff. Whereas India was probably, like, 2 weeks, but might not have been. Because time was weird. But the way the cycle was working, there were, like, 3 days of peace, you know, 2 days of chaos or whatever, and then Day of Destruction or something. So it was, like, a week and a half, 2 weeks. I think we did one full cycle and like half a cycle.
Something. I'm not.
But it
entirely
also
sure.
started to break by the time we got further in. So, but that was much more clearly supposed to be a very strict structure of days. It even had a freaking clock in the corner to track, right?
Right.
And we'll see what future stuff brings. But the main thing that's the most wibblest wobbly is the time between Lost Belts. Usually you have to wait until a story-related event or the next Lost Belt to come out for somebody to be like, Da Vinci or Sion to be like, yes, it's been 2 weeks since we last did that thing. Or it's been 5 months. So
it's
time is no longer happening in a strictly real-time basis. Like, part 1 is very clearly, like, the downtime between events was the real-life downtime. It was taking Chaldea that long to work. But this is not necessarily meant to be taking that amount of time, so it's less structured, less strict.
But with that, let's move on. So, our next one comes from... I mastered that missed Rider raid due to work. That is a big goof. It did go quickly. It went really quickly.
And it was in the middle of the night, for most people.
I feel like they should... Well, I don't know. That's I guess that's the problem with having a global version. There isn't really necessarily a good, quote unquote time now to release raids.
Yeah, no, especially considering they just incorporated like a lot of European countries to this server officially.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. Like obviously if you're in the West Coast, you probably have the best timing for raids because presumably you're not doing anything at 9:00 at night. But no matter what happens, it could be all over the place.
Yeah.
God help you if you can count maintenance in there as well sometimes.
Mm-hmm. But this person goes on to say, question. So we have a few members of the shinsengumi now, but with the specific additional shinsengumi buffs that Yamanami gives, would it be cool to have more? So my question to y'all is, what other members of the shinsengumi would you want to see? As a personal choice, I want to see Nakazawa, as the series does do a lot to mess with gender. Sometimes I'd be curious to see if they would choose to depict her like they would go with a full gender thing and actually make it a feminine looking man, or depict her as a badass sword woman, or incorporate the fact that she was dressed as a man but was supposedly beautiful enough to turn the heads of both men and women. Otherwise, hope you both enjoyed the event and have a great week. Which one was...
You were looking for sword swoman.
Sword. No W, just sword. Swords.
Swordswoman.
Swords.
The text is a little chunky.
Text is a little chunky. So, fun fact. Let's see here. The interesting thing about the shinsengumi we have right now is, we've mentioned they mentioned in this event, but all the shinsengumi we have right now are all from Kondo Asami's faction. Because basically when the Shinsengumi was founded, basically the 3 founding members gathered up their boys and it's all like, all right, we're gonna do some shit with this. And Kondo Asami was the one who got Hijikata, Okita, Saito, Yamanami, and there's actually more in there. Like, for one, I want a Kondo Asami. I don't actually know if they have a sprite work, but I mean, he was the de facto leader of the Shinsengumi after they assassinated the Serizawa combo for being a fucking dick. That's the most commonly accepted reason, by the way, because they just said he would like to drink and get into fight and kill people. He was not a good man. But if we're talking from Kondo's faction, aside from Kondo Asami himself, I think I would want actually Sanosuke, because he was an interesting one in the Shinsengumi in that he was a spear fighter. And did he actually use the Hozu and Ryu style of spear fighting? Our bald monk guy, his style of spearmanship. And he was more of a peasant from a quasi samurai family who once tried to commit seppuku because someone mocked him that he couldn't do it properly, but he failed. And he was just he took a scar from it. He's like, I'm gonna make my family crest out of this scar. He's a little bit of a dork, and I'm like, I love this guy.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good, and that's got the connection to other Fate stuff, obviously, because it, Hozu style.
Mm-hmm. I actually don't know this. What was the name?
Nakazawa.
Hang on, let me look this up. I'm curious about this.
Well, Shinsengumi does autocomplete.
Let's see here. Shinsengumi Nakazawa. Nakazawa Koto.
Well, there
Oh,
is
sick.
actually a woman named Nakazawa Koto.
Yeah. Allegiance the Tokugawa Bakufu, Roshingumi Shinsengumi, fought in the Boshin War. Let's see.
She was a
here.
tall lady. I don't know if
Honest-
Fate can do that. She's 5'7".
I mean, no,
I
this
will
sounds-
only allow this if they remember to actually use her real height. Goddamn you, FGO.
Let's
Keeping
see.
in mind that, by the way, her being 170 centimeters is like around my own personal height.
Okay, she wasn't in the founding group. That's why it didn't click with me. Okay. When did she join up? But yeah, no, that'd be pretty fucking cool. Okay. But let's keep going on those good thoughts.
Yep.
So this next one comes from the most powerful of all FGO servants, the guy who invented tea ceremonies. Question. Question. What Fate or Fate adjacent story would you like to see animated next? I've seen rumors regarding Strange Fake, but we've been bamboozled before.
Mhm.
I mean, more than anything right now, I think I want a prototype. Like, give me prototype. Like, that's such a ephemeral thing.
Yeah, and you know, if you want to start with something more concrete, the Zero version of Prototype is complete. Fragments of Blue and Silver, like they had like light novels and drama-seas and mangas and stuff. So like that's fully sketched out. We know a little bit about Prototype as a result, but the rough outlines should be there. So there's something to work with, I think, and that's always the issue with Strange Fake is like it's still not done, you know. So I'm always doubtful when people suspect the animated adaptation because I'm just like, but how would you do that? You just you run out of story at a point. So yeah, I'm trying to think. Are there any other weird things?
Let's
I mean,
see
on the one
here.
hand, that's also far from over because there's only like 2 fucking volumes. But if they did something with Requiem, then I could actually like consume it as opposed to it currently being just in light novels.
I mean, I'm still hoping for more case files.
It's true. You do have the next. There's obviously they're working on the sequel to that, and there's about how many more volumes did we not cover in the first anime? Because
God, we skipped like a lot.
yeah, it was quite a few. Because I'm trying to remember how many there were. It was like 10 or something volumes of the light novel, and I think we covered like 2 of them. Plus
No,
half of it was original content.
Yeah.
So like, I'd always be down to clown for the rest of the stories and case files.
Oh, what else is out there?
Especially considering they teased us with that fucking special episode that was also just more original content.
I mean, it had Toko in it, so I forgave it.
Oh yeah, no, it was good. It was just like we were all hoping it was like the first time they showed something about case files. It was it would be an episode 0 to a new season, but it wasn't really. It was just here's an extra thing.
I also, real talk, I wouldn't mind. I know we have extra record coming out, but I really wouldn't mind having fucking Foxtail animated.
Yeah, Foxtail is really good from what I've seen of the manga. I do believe that it is also not complete yet. I don't know if they want to get ahead of that, but I don't know what they're... I believe it's published in a monthly magazine.
Mm-hmm. But also, like, speaking of, Foxtail, you know what probably would make a really good anime adaptation? Fucking, Seraph.
Yeah. I know they're working on I believe it's still also in the middle, but there is a manga adaptation of Seraph. Seraph obviously has its own, beats they could work with. Actually, hey, just in general, I know that's not quite what they were asking, but it has been a little bit since there was an FGO-themed anime adaptation. I don't know if we want to roll out for, like Lost Belt adaptations, but, there's several Epic of Remnant stories.
Like, I definitely think I would prefer the CCC one over them all, but
the CCC one I think is arguably the best. I mean, I'd love for them to pick up a good studio to do a Shimoso run.
Honestly, like, A1's been doing the good work. Like, I just recently watched the Apocrypha's of Vazati Shakti scene. God, that shit went hard.
Yeah.
I was like,
they went out
damn.
of the, if I remember rightly from when it came out, they went out of their way to get specialists. Like, they got extra animators on who were so psyched to do it.
Yeah.
Staying power, y'all. And I know there's a lot of fussing out there in the world right now with, like, crappy memes on the internet because UFO making a Genshin thing next.
People are weird about the weirdest shit, I swear.
I don't really know. I can kind of see, like, the source of it, but I really don't know why it And it feels like it's, obviously, I'm not going to say for sure it is, because trust me, I have been in this for a long time. We've been doing this podcast for like 5 years, I'm pretty sure, we're over 5 years now. We've been doing it since FGO launched. And trust me, I understand the FGO community can be petty as fuck about the weirdest things. But I feel like a lot of the flack is from, like, the Genshin crew. They're like, oh, look at you, Fate, you suck. Ufotable's animating us now. And I'm like, one, we've been here for, this game's been going on for 7 years, still going strong, buddy. Call me when you make it that far. Except you won't, because I'm sure Toyoverse will fill out all the rest of it and come up with something new eventually. Genshin 2.0 or something.
Also, people shouldn't feel that Fate's the only thing UFO Table does.
No, they did the Demon Slayer thing, which I have heard a very, the anime series and some other stuff. But I have heard some people make a very convincing argument that people probably would not remember what Demon Slayer was unless Ufotable hadn't, given it a breathtaking animation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know for sure. I've never gotten around to actually sitting down and watching it. It's in my queue with like 9 million other things. Sorry. Guys, 3 episodes of Star Wars Andor came out, and I still haven't watched those. That was like yesterday. They started with... I kind of hate Disney for starting with 3 episodes, because I'm like, when the fuck am I going to find time to watch 3 episodes? But, my backlog is immense and terrifying. But, there's a lot of flack that goes out there for stuff, but, there are some really good animations, and honestly, Ufotable was able to, do multiple of these projects in serial. They were working on the Heaven's Feel movies while they were also doing Demon Slayer, pretty sure. Maybe not directly in parallel, but they were both part of their dev cycles, so we'll see what actually is coming. It's not like you stole Ufotable from Fate. For FGO-specific stuff, I'm not shocked if more things will continue to be turned out by A1, but that's because A1 is a spin-off of Aniplex, who are a spin-off of Sony, who spun off this Losengle thing to buy FGO out from under Delight World. Vertical integration, guys. That's just simple math. It's like wondering why, for instance, did the Solomon stage production show up on Crunchyroll and nowhere else? Well, it's because Sony bought Funimation, and Funimation bought Crunchyroll, guys. It's not that hard. It's just Turtles all the way down, except the Turtles are Sony.
Yeah, we can even go a little further down. Fucking Cloverworks is a fucking a studio that split off from A1. Those are the guys who did Babylonia. Yeah,
that's right. A1 technically spun off a separate studio to get more studio work done. So it's all just spin-offs and nesting.
And guys, I do want to say this, just because a studio is mainlining a thing doesn't mean they're the only ones working on it. A lot of time animation work is actually split between several studios, and they hire freelancers and all that.
Oh, actually, no. I was rendering something. This was a big thing with I remember when Darling in the Franxx came out, because Trigger was headlining that, but they were being heavily supplemented by, what was the other studio?
Was it? I think it was. No, it was A1. I think.
Was it A1? Yeah, it was. That's right. It was A1. Yeah. So it was a very directly those two working together. I believe there were supplementary. We talked before about, you mentioned not directly, but the extra anime released by Studio Shaft. I believe other studios did also help them, though, sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not all this thing working out there.
Pay attention to their credits, and you'll just see, other studios just all up in there.
Yeah. Because you can't do all the work all on your own.
No.
God forbid, especially if you're doing, weekly shonen stuff, so much of the shit in, for instance, Bleach or Naruto was, farmed out to other studios. There were Korean animation studios working on that. That's where, you get to, get this cool collab where, hey, technically an animation studio who worked on Naruto worked on, the, Avatar Legend of Korra. Because, they did actually get, some studio overlap with some people. It's wacky and wild how that stuff works out. But, yeah, so there's a breadth of possible stuff that could come out. And, obviously, Ufotable's work with Fate Stay Night, core stuff, and Zero as well. Zero, Unlimited Blade Works, Heaven's Feel is really great. I know a lot of people really want them to sew up the bow and do the original Fate line. And again, like I said, some people are taking this thing as Ufotable is working with Genshin as some victory. Oh, they'll never do Fate, haha. No, we don't know where that decision came from. That could be Type Moon. Nasu is weird about retreading ground, honestly. Like, we've discussed this before, how in interviews he said that, like, he's felt that, like, Emiya and Artoria's stories are, at least their original version stories as told in Fate stuff, are complete. So, like, I could totally see him being like, oh no, we already had an anime adaptation for Fate. We don't need to fuck with that. That exists. Like, Type Moon could be the ones who said, nah, don't worry about that. We did that already.
We done.
But yeah, there's a lot of interesting possibilities. Honestly, like, going back to it, to roll back to an earlier point to kind of tie this in a bow, Lucky mentioned Foxtail earlier. I think that would be a good one because, again, CCC never really came out over here, so an adaptation of some version of that story would be nice, you know? It's always kind of irritating how there's so much breadth to Fate, and there are people who will give you shit for being a secondary or tertiary, but, like, there's a lot of stuff that just simply isn't accessible outside of Japan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talked about light novels and stuff all the time, so, like, any of that's good. I'm down for that.
I'm down. I think if we were to do a Foxtail one, I would like Shaft to do it. Shaft doesn't usually have, like, the most ungodly stuff, like, you have UFO table and stuff will pull out, but they still got a high bar. Well,
and they add a lot of the weird mind-bendy stylistic stuff that I
yeah.
think would go over well in a CCC-style adaptation. Like, that was really good in Last Encore. Just Last Encore was weird.
Oh, but we spent a lot of time on that one, but, you know, it's good. So let us move further on. This next one comes from Commandant of the Purifying Force, who says, "Greetings, Lore Masters Lucky Omega. My submission for the week is, what is your most favorite Japanese mythical artifact/object that you would like to have a Fate version of? Thanks, and I sing good vibes, wah 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 wah, on top of Himiko's."
I mean, I think we've done most of the big ones.
We've done most of the big ones. We've done the Heavily Jeweled Spear. We've done Kusanagi. We've done the Mirror of Amaterasu. I do not think we've done the Sacred Jewel, though.
Yeah, I don't think the Magatama has come up yet. That might be interesting. Obviously, Magatamas are a recurring motif because they just are.
Yes.
But I don't...
Bukidoji does.
Yes. Which makes sense, because you gotta remember where we found it.
Yeah.
I have to remember, I think technically she still calls her version the Ame no Murakumo, the Sword of Parting Clouds. I think, because the Kusanagi, the grass cutter meme, only that name was applied way later, like hundreds of years later, when an emperor allegedly did a thing with it. So there's like overlapping legends, but yeah.
Yeah, it's the sword that was pulled from fucking Orochi's ass.
Yes. Susanoo cut off all the dragon's heads, and when he was digging through its corpse like a good adventurer, like a good murder hobo, he found a sword in there. And he's like, cool.
I'll give it to my sister. Maybe she'll stop being pissed at me.
Hey, sis, you want the sick sword I got from a dragon? She's like, yeah, okay, I guess.
Oh, I'm trying to think of like sick relics.
And I think Ibuki's version might even be nine-branched. Nine-branched sword is also a very cool one.
Yeah, because I think the style of core is or was it the Tsurugi?
Yeah, it should be a Tsurugi style because well, the Imperial family claims they've still got it, even though there are legends about it being lost in a boat, and theirs is Tsurugi styled, so older and double bladed.
Like I'm trying to run through my mental list of like known Japanese artifacts. There's the jar poison insects, the sacred sake. Yep. I think the sake that Susanoo gave Orochi was like supposed to be the biggest specialist shit, and I'm like, that could be a thing, I guess, but
yeah.
No, that's usually like, unfortunately, when I think sacred Japanese artifacts, it's 3 sacred treasures is always the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, no, it's a big one. I mean, I'm just running down through what my Okami pickups, but yeah, I think the only other thing I would think about from a folkloric state, and I find it very interesting considering how integrated Muramasa is. There is no mention made at all, really, in the Greater Fate oeuvre of Masamune blades, even though generally, according to folklore, Masamune is considered the greater and more pure swordsman. Strictly speaking, they the Fate kind of explains away why Muramasa's blades are supposed to be like demonic. It's because he's trying to get his swords to poke into heaven and he keeps missing. But yeah, like that's something that is another one of those things where they've kind of danced around it, but they haven't really gotten whole hog on it. It's kind of like Abe no Seimei. Like we know that he's there. There's a vague shape of him, but he hasn't really like popped on screen and done anything. God knows when they're gonna pull that one out. But yeah.
Yeah, so I think my short answer is just gonna be, the Magatama. So, with that, let us moveth on. And this next one comes from the Tiger King that got mad at the gacha for giving him a Fiona JP, so he bought an 80-pack to get Sim no Rikyu. Hey, Guar, Lucky, and Calliope Omega. Since Bakura started FGO, we welcome her into hell with us. Which VTubers would you like to see starting FGO? I think we need to see Gura play or Ina win the Scramble event so she can roll for some of her fellow Eldritch brethren. Anyway, that's it for me. Sending a good vibe your ways, and hope you have a nice evening.
I mean, while my knowledge of Hollow Ian's breath has slipped a little, I remember when Ina debuted, she made a big deal of the fact that she likes FGO. She liked a lot of gacha games. And obviously, her quite a few of them have character designs that are done by FGO artists, but like Ina is the Eldritch one, and her artist is the guy who does all the foreigners. So
I do know that every time I check FGO's website, I choose to see followed by Ina, and I'm just like, yep.
Yeah. Like that there's definitely something to be said there, and I feel like both as an artist herself and like a connection with like the art team and stuff, Ina would probably have stuff to say. We know that she likes the game. That would probably be a good experience to go raw. Somebody in chat said Crony, whose character design is by Wada Arco, so that also would work very well, especially because Wada Arco is very supportive of Crony on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So that could also be an interesting overlap. I don't remember anything about Crony being particularly into gacha before, but like I said, my grasp of Ian has loosened a little over the years.
Unfortunately, me too. I've been following mostly Poshi recently, who just debuted a new model and is now using her real voice, and oh god, her voice is huskier than I thought it'd be, and it's good. Everyone's going, "Mommy, it's great. I love it." No, I never thought she was using a voice changer either, but she said she was. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Was it a voice changer, or did she just pitch up?
No, it was a voice changer.
Okay.
She just basically pitched her voice up a little bit. Not so much that it was
just auto-tuned a couple of octaves, went from mezzo-soprano to soprano or something.
Mm-hmm. Nah, but her new model and actual voice, I'm like, no, it's good. Yes, marry me. Hochi FGO servant win.
Well, we'll see. Sometime maybe.
Like, give that
got
to
Pochi
me.
to do at least one CE.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's move on. This next one comes from a man with a cold hoping for Asuna from White Mage Tamamo. I feel like Tamamo is not a white mage.
I mean, so technically Tamamo can heal, but like if you look up all the skills she has in the extra game, that's a lot of like elemental damage, poison, lots of dots. It's many things.
Is there like a curse/poison based class in Magic class?
I do think Green Mage sometimes Sage gets access to like poison gas, stuff like that.
People have to remember that Tamamo, as much as he loves you, is not a nice woman.
No. And
she will straight up kill a motherfucker.
Also, her style of, witchcraft that is the magic of, curses and sympathetic magic and stuff. That's,
Is Shaman a class? Is there Shamans?
I feel like Shaman has to have been a Final Fantasy class at some point.
Let me see here. Let's see here. Shaman,
Final Fantasy Wiki. It was in Airborne Brigade, which is one of the mobile games.
This is what they should do for the next Final Fantasy 14 expansion. Make Shaman and make it curse and dot based with like nature magic and shit. Make it like Green Mage, but dark.
I mean, there might have been an Onyoji class, but it's been called it would have been translated as something different. I lamented when talking about classes, I think on last stream, like the stuff I liked, like in FFT A2, Samurai was called Paravir because for some reason the localization team got really, really clever and wanted to say like, and it might technically have been Yojimbo in the original Japanese. Sometimes Final Fantasy wiggles on that one. But, like, I'm pretty sure that the localization team was like, well, there's New Japan in Ivalice. And the 14 team, as you can tell, was just like, fuck it.
We will put Japan in there. We'll just make a new continent.
We'll just put some samurais in there and some ninjas. We don't care.
So,
but localization of Final Fantasy is a subject for literally a different podcast that we have.
But to say hello, Loki and Megan. No question. Just wish you guys well and many good vibes. Wah 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 wah. Thanks for the show. Well, thank you for sending that in,
and thank you for listening.
Consider more Final Fantasy classes. Ooh, excuse me. This next one comes from Moon. Is aiming to earn more Lucky Bucks. Moon, what are you trying to get me to do?
Hold on. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to the Lucky Buck economy? These are non-fungible Lucky Bucks.
NFLs.
Hey,
sorry, that got me by surprise too. NFLBs, solid X, solid. Anyway, no, Lucky Bucks are not transferable. Because then what you're gonna do is you're gonna pick one person, give everyone the Lucky Bucks to them, and then make me do something really fucking weird. And I'm just be like, why are you guys like this?
Economics. Anyway,
so they say, question. Hello there, Lucky Omega. Hope you're doing well. Do you guys prefer an egg dish, something sweet, or something savory for breakfast? They say in parentheses, I just woke up and my stomach demands food at the moment. I couldn't think of any other topic to ask about. Me? I'm all three. Like, I get me my sweet waffle, I get me some savory meat, and I have an egg dish. I like full meals. I really do. Like, before we got started, actually, because I have made a soul oath, I couldn't order burritos, so I actually had to cook. So I actually got out some sirloin steaks. I threw that on the grill, made me some mashed potatoes, got me some green beans and like French style cut, and just nuke those, salt and peppered them up. So but you can see the plate if you go into our general chat on Discord. It's there and it's hearty. Can I just actually I'll just copy the image. Let me.
Yeah. For me, my typical breakfast these days is sausage biscuits, side of bacon, and coffee.
Sausage biscuits. We got sausage. Oh, I got waffle mix.
Like he's thinking.
That's. Oh, but I don't have the mini waffle maker yet. Shit. Fuck.
But like, if I know that I'm eating a good breakfast, I go for like egg, side of bacon, toast, jelly. So like you said, technically all three. Like if I need to eat a full big boy breakfast, I'll eat a full big boy breakfast.
When I'm having smaller.
Currently, I sleep like a freak. I just kind of eat smaller, less concentrated meals.
No, and if I'm not, actually thinking about food, I will literally just grab whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, bagel, cereal. Like, for like the last week, like when me and my friend went to Costco, we actually picked up a 2-pack of Trix and Cocoa Puffs, and we were like, this is gonna fucking kill us. But we ate it anyway. Ugh. That reminds me, I need to learn how to make Eggs Benedict and learn how to make a good holiday sauce. Hollandaise. I don't actually know how to pronounce it. I just know it has H-O and a lot of fucking L's.
No, your soul doesn't wither away when you eat Trix. That's your blood that's melting. I have heard there are actually like good, healthier alternatives to like children's cereal, but it's expensive. Like some of you may have heard ads on the internet for Magic Spoon, a cereal like subscription service that offers you the flavors of childhood while being less killing you, but it's expensive because you gotta like buy big box deals to avoid getting shipping. So.
Normally I actually get Life because I find like Life is naturally sweet enough that I don't actually add sugar.
Yeah,
but it's not so sugary that it's killing me inside. I should just get some. What I should just do, because I know you can fucking do this. I just need to buy a fucking bag of fucking cereal marshmallows and just mix them into the fucking Life and be like, perfect.
I mean, that's a good deal, just so long as you can avoid the pitfall where you just go, wait, I have a bag of cereal marshmallows. Why don't I just eat those?
No, that's death.
That's the thing for me where I'm like, I gotta be careful not to skip the middleman, because at some point I'll get like, why am I just doing this, manually again?
Because I just buy the marshmallow bag, I can actually, adjust the ratio of marshmallow to other stuff and, lower it so I can still have that enjoyable sweet experience, but not, worry about like I'm gonna spontaneously just collapse into fucking blood sugar.
I mean, I think somebody brought up Honey Nut in there. I think Honey Nut Cheerios, for instance, like you talked about Life being naturally sweet. Honey Nut Cheerios, I remember from my childhood. It's been many years. That was naturally sweeter, again, than like plain unseasoned regular ass Cheerios, because that's like, okay, give me the sugar bowl.
Yeah,
that's like visiting my my grandparents, like, okay, we only have plain Cheerios. You gotta spice them up yourself.
No, the thing... There's way too much Cheerios and Honey Nut Cheerios in my life, but I will literally, like, stab a man over Apple Cinnamon Cheerios. Those are, like, my favorite. But you can't find a good sub. You can't find, like, a good...
Yeah, I want to wonder, because I never had those. Do they actually taste like apple cinnamon? Because I had Apple Jacks. Those don't really taste like apple cinnamon.
I think they taste more like apple cinnamon than Apple Jacks. I'll say that.
I don't know what Apple Jacks taste like. I eat them.
I do like Raisin Bran and shredded wheat myself, but both of them, if I eat them, they'll start making my jaw hurt after a while, because boy howdy, that's a lot of chewing.
Yeah, like, honestly, I'm thinking about it. Raisin Bran's okay, but it's a lot of effort. It's a tough cereal.
It is.
Like, even in the milk, it's not, like, easy going. Whereas, there are some cereals where if you leave them in the milk too long, they're just gone. It's like Frosted Mini Wheats or your other various other variations of that, where, like, if you just leave them too long in there, they just cease to exist.
Raisin Bran just gets heavier.
It absorbs the milk.
Shredded wheat's also, like, again, like, I don't know what it is about it, but it just hurts my jaw, too. And I try breaking it up, but then I have, like, all these stabby bits in my mouth. I'm like, I'm cut up now. Thanks.
Yeah, that's my love-hate relationship with Peanut Butter Captain Crunch. That stuff is delicious. I don't know what they do to it. I also don't know what they do to it, because it's like tiny balls of razor blades. I don't think there's anything else I have ever eaten enough of to realize where I'm like, man, this cuts the shit out of my mouth after I'm done, but it's tasty. I don't know what they do to it. Because, like, I've had, like, y'all probably know about them Reese's Puffs memes, but I've had the Reese's cereal before.
I like Reese's
That's
Puffs.
not the same. Like, it's peanut butter and chocolatey, but it isn't. Whatever they do to that is not the same as whatever we do to Captain Crunch peanut butter.
Like, there's a lot of cigarette sugars I still like. Someone mentioned Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I still love that shit. Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa. I should actually get some Fruities and Cocoa Pebbles and make some fucking I need Rice Krispie too, but I found this thing you can do where you can, like, make Rice Krispie treats and then layer the top with, like, either, like, Fruity Pebbles or Cocoa Pebbles. I'm all like, sweet, this sounds like death. Let's do it.
Nice.
I should make that. I'm trying to get back into the kitchen and actually cooking, especially because I need to lose weight, and nothing makes you want to lose weight than not buying, $20 worth of junk food.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually lost like 5 pounds so far. It's pretty sick. I have many more to go, though. But let's stop talking about breakfast cereals and move on. So this next one comes from King of Apples, who returns from his training guard with absolutely 0 improvement made. That's good. That means you didn't, pick up something negative. Sometimes staying as you are is the best thing that can happen.
Hey, you didn't backslide.
Exactly.
That's also what Lucky just said, is straight up just the Red Queen paradox. Running as fast as you can just to stay in place.
Mm-hmm. But they said, question. If you had to pick one of the debutancy canon events, Gudaguda, Halloween, etc., to be really truly canon, which would it be and why? Oh man, we've had a lot of just weird ass fucking events.
And also they mentioned like Gudaguda and Halloween and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know that those are necessarily dubiously canon sometimes. Like, Gudaguda for the most part feels like it is, because Gudaguda feels very self-contained and just like, yep, that's that. But, we've had some more direct relationship with some events over the years. Honestly, Gudaguda events are just so great. We'll talk more about this later, but like, the way they can pivot from comedy to serious, like, so well, and actually, like, unpack these really interesting historical deep cuts. It's very interesting. Actually, yeah, that's true. That's right. We did technically get at least all of the year 1 events, or part 1 events do count in some fashion, because we saw several of them at Solomon. Yeah, so that goes to my argument about, are they really non-canon? Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm mentally parsing things in my head, trying to figure out which events do I want canon. Because honestly, I'm gonna be real, I don't care if the Liz event, the Halloween events are canon or not. I just enjoy them as they are. Like, it doesn't really matter to me whether or not they're canon. Like, same with Christmas and summer events. They just are.
Yeah.
They exist, and that's fine.
Summer would also, I think, technically cause issues, because summer, again, talking about timey-wimey and stuff, because summer happens all the time. The idea of when and where summer events are happening, it gets very confusing. So that might not work to, like, untangle.
Oh, I know which one I want to be fucking canon. Meihoso.
Ooh, that's a good one, yeah.
I just want the master, just because I like that story in general, and I want the master to just go solve more mysteries.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to go back to my argument. I don't think everything can be canon because Summer literally doesn't make sense. Maeve says that we bamboozled her a year ago, but we meet Gordolf before we meet Gordolf. That doesn't work. That's not how time-space works. So, there must have been an explicit fuckery of time, or they're not meant to be canon in the strictly linear sense. But yeah, a lot of the Gudaguda stuff keeps happening in certain orders, and there's a lot of really interesting stuff. Meihoso is a really good example. I would also guess some things. Well, Summer 4 might be. That could make sense. That was also like a singularity we did too. That one at least wasn't necessarily like meant to. I mean, it was obviously summer, but it was not meant to be like a specific. This was our only summer vacation. That was like, yes, there's a weird ass summer singularity we need to go fix.
And to be real, we have no idea, like, talking about timelines, summer last 3 months, we might have, like, if you want to consider them canon, we might have just done a couple of them, like, in a year.
Yeah. Again, and I said, that's the main thing with Summer Maeve, is the reason why that one, with Summer, is that 2 to 3? Yeah, 2 to 3 doesn't work, is because Maeve, when she gets her swimsuit, says, we bamboozled her a year ago, but that, the timing of, because the Chaldea takeover takes place that December, how can we not have met Gordolf yet? Like, because he shows up as a cameo, right? And it's during the downtime when Chaldea is being investigated. Unless Summer 1 was supposed to have happened, like, in the same year that FGO started. But that also gets weird. Anyway, I don't want to think too hard about it. Don't worry about it. But yeah, several of the summers we do reminisce about as, like, having weird stuff. And there's a lot of little events. Like, technically, I reckon that, like, for instance, Spider's Web, we can count that as canon. That's just we hang out with Moriarty. Same with the IE and Breeze thing. There's a lot going on. Ooh, sorry, excuse me. There's a lot going on there. Mm-hmm. It is at least to future events, because Murasaki's library keeps showing up.
Yeah, like it just literally shows up one Valentine's, and it keeps getting referenced. Like interludes take place in there. We sometimes hang out there just in general.
Yeah. On the converse, I don't know that the Chocolate Factory one is actually real, because we don't ever, like, hardly ever reference that. Sorry, stifle Leon.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, let us move on. So, this next one comes from Procrastinator about to board the plane home. Sending the good vibes to all. Wah, 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 wah. Very nice. Hope you have a safe trip. Moving on, this next one comes from The Abandoned Warehouse, who says, Greetings, Lucky and Omega. Long time without posting. Work has been killing me. A relative could finally return from overseas after the C virus restrictions are lifted and we move houses. But finally, things got sorted out. How is your Gudaguda? I'm having a blast. The jokes are landing. The cast is great. The shinsengumi are really cool, and Himiko is the best. Only she refuses to answer my summons. Plus, there is Brother Turtle. 10 out of 10 event for me. But whoever programmed the drop bonus events can get kicked by 100 Spriggans. Making all the units neutral or weak against the node that drops its material is just mean. At least the rerun fixed things. Question, favorite Gudaguda event? Mine was probably 4, the one with Kagatora, but this is a close one. Arrivederci and good luck.
I'm pretty fond of this one. This one's pretty cool.
This one's pretty cool. Like, I think it's probably a tie between this one and Final. Because I really did like the Nobunaga's ambition aspect of it. Running around, beating up people, taking their land, and be like, this is mine now. Getting resources and all that stuff. You know me, I love resource management just in general, so...
I'm thinking back. I think the one that I liked the best, that's probably up there with this one, because this one's obviously got like a lot going on there, was maybe Imperial Capital, actually. Just because, like, I really like the aesthetics of that and kind of the, Roma's detective agency angle.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty good.
It's a pretty good one. Speaking of things that could be animated.
Honestly, that's probably something else. I don't know where Fate Redline is, but, the Imperial Holy Grail War, that could be pretty sick, too.
Yeah. And arguably, I believe Redline is just, like, reinterpreting and more seriously stuff that, like, Gudaguda things has only
the Koho Ace.
The Koho Ace stuff. You could technically adapt it separately if you really wanted an animated adaptation. I just don't know if they want to kind of, like, shoot themselves in the foot there.
I think it'd be okay. Like honestly, they have the story and they probably have writers on it. They could probably go ahead with an anime adaptation and not, impact the manga too much. And there have been manga adaptations that have come out after an anime has aired.
Yeah. And they can also do things, like, differently. I know that, from what I understand, like, Redline is very OKITA focused. So, like, and some extra, like, story building stuff. So they could choose a different angle for there. They could go for something a little more aligned to, you know, the FGO event or other stuff. But yeah, Imperial Holy Grail was a really interesting one. And like I said, I always thought that one had, like, some really, you know, nice aesthetics and stuff going on. And just the you know, Ryoma Detective Agency vibes are really cool. And if you want to know more about how we feel about this event, just wait a little bit.
Mm-hmm. We're almost there. So with that, we move on. This next one comes from Nobu, who says, Nobu, no. Ugh. I thought that'd be stuck in my throat forever. Anyway, dear Lucky and Omega, no question this week. Just keep up the good work. Continue the good vibes. Wah, 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 wah. Why do you people want to make me do sound effects? Stop that. I'm going to start slapping you like Kerbo.
Also, does this mean this person was implying that a Nobu was stuck in their throat?
Probably. So, let's move on. Let me double check here. The last one. This last one comes from Agent 418, who says, Hello, Lucky and Omega. If too long, skip and have a good weekend.
Ha 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 ha. People think your questions are too long.
No, we've actually had very reasonable length questions. I was wondering if either of you have used the Immortal Comp, and is so, what are the opinions on how what are opinions on it now that we have access to it on NA? I have used, and even with damage CE and event bonus, Himiko doesn't hit as hard as I thought she would, though her ability to generate stars is great. I also fell like 2 stage of OC she has on MP isn't as good as damaging MP like Morgan's, and her ability to help the party is less than Reyna's has, and both of them with only 1 stage OC on their MP. Have a good weekend.
What is the Immortal Comp exactly? That's Himiko. Is it Merlin probably for the max HP? Well, and also the Buster Crit. I don't know.
Yeah, give me the Immortal Comp.
There's like 5 people typing it. It's fine. Okay, yeah, Himiko, Castoria, Merlin. Yeah, makes sense. Many involves much max HP.
I have no reason to use this. Why would I use this?
I mean, this is basically, it reminds me of some discussion about, like, different metas and stuff and how, you know, people handle, like, challenge quest content. This is basically the new version of the just oops all Jean Tamamo stall meta, where basically you win content by just not dying. And I think it's perfectly valid if you want to try that way. I know a lot of people were, like, going into some weird shit.
I mean, I think my stall strat right now is John Castoria Tamamo.
Yeah, that team literally never dies because you are also getting the same invols.
Yeah.
I assume Himiko is used because ostensibly her abilities are as a solo servant because she can, you know, slurp up stars onto herself and generate shitloads of stars and stuff per turn. So, like, you can get out there. The main problem with that, I think, is there's this interesting issue where we've stuck Castoria in this team to make you die less, but Castoria doesn't really add a lot to Himiko. Like, it's basically just her attack ups that do things. And even then, that's, as we know, those are additive, not multiplicative to other attack ups. So, yeah. Like, I talked about this in the Wanted. Himiko is interesting because, obviously, she doesn't have the same raw stats as Super Orion, but her kit can be very Super Orion-like, and obviously Super Orion is very popular for reasons. If I were to use her in that style of comp, I would definitely be doing more about getting focused buffs on her, like Waver and stuff. Yeah, but you don't need the super invul unless your opponent has pure... I mean, I feel like this is a team comp for very specific challenge quests and not necessarily something to be used all the time. I don't know if people are trying it out for, like, the current team comp or like the current challenge quest, I should say, or what. It's an interesting strategy, and, you know, we can go through there. No, it's no damage taken. All right. You guys keep adding, like, stipulations on stipulations, and I think you're just, you know, trying too hard. 5 hits of super invul is nice, but you can't stack them. Like, once you've got them, you gotta wait until they go away. Which, again, depending on the boss, could be very rapidly. That could be 2 turns if they have AoE attacks. It's an interesting concept, but no, I haven't really tried it. And like you said, I don't know why I would try it. Like, I could stall harder and not. There's a good Himiko numbers. Like, I would say with the thing with Himiko is you gotta, like, actually focus on getting her the buff she needs. Like, you can see all those fuckload there. Well, like 4 buster buffs on that? And the enemy has buster res down? Yeah. there's a wide variety of things you can do. So like, I can see how like the two things going on, but like the extra stages of overcharge that Himiko does is not for her, so obviously it's not going to be quite the same effect. But the main thing is, while she has team support, you are not necessarily popping Himiko's NP to support your team. The way you should be doing that, I feel like the way she's designed is very clearly you pop her NP at the start of an NP BB chain so that you get the extra buster damage. And then if the enemy's not dead, because they probably have break bars, and that's how FGO works now, you then have your other servants' NPs to follow up on, whether that's, again, direct damage dealing or whatever. But there's a lot of stuff there. And I do know that damage is getting complex. Some people have complained. I think there's like a free quest node in the current Gudaguda that's got like a what was it, like a 1 million HP guy. And there's some like 2-wave nodes that are really high HP. So there's a lot of really weird, how do you even minimum turn farm clear? Yeah, it's a BB. Makes sense. And I think I feel like this is one of those things where FGO is telling you don't minimum turn clear this. Like, the only way they're designing that is to be like, hey, we want to actually like challenge you. We want to see how hard we can push this so that you can't clear this in the minimum number of turns, 1 turn, 1 wave, right? I feel like previous stuff has experimented with, many enemies on screen. Obviously they added mechanics to introduce extra enemies and waves so you don't actually clear the wave and stuff. Like, I feel like we're toying around with things. Because
people are always going to be figuring out things.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like, I'm glad that, like, people have at the very least, a dedicated Himiko comp, for now until Morgan comes out. I still think that, like, pure damage-wise and stat effects-wise, like, you can totally use Himiko as, like, your damage dealer, just with a non-damaging NP, because that's cool. But there's a lot of variance here. I think Himiko is actually a flex unit. You want to hear me wax poetic about this? Go watch that one. It's not just the 20 minutes of backstory. There's like 10 minutes on mechanics. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
All right. Well, that, I do believe, is the end of this week's mailbag. Everyone, thank you so much for sending in. And remember, Lucky tries to post this at the beginning of the week. Actually, I think I'm going to make the official day Wednesday, because I have been noticing it is kind of weird that if I post it like early in the week, like no one bites for a couple days.
Yeah, they just forget about it.
I'll try to figure out some sort of I don't know if I can with no tablet. Like, I'm going to be picking one up next month if my finances go correctly. But I think I might have to actually make like some sort. I think, oh man, I really need to start doing some artwork for stuff. Ugh. But when I get a tab, I can start checking things off my list. Ugh. Anyway, yeet. Woo.
Alrighty, free talk.
Free talk. So before we get into the Yamataikoku story impressions, there are a few things that have been cropping up over the week that we could probably take a moment about. One coming up here, actually probably pretty quick, is Aniplex is actually having a stream showcasing, their convention. I forget what it's called. Hang on. 1 secondeth. Oh yeah, the Aniplex Online Fest 2022. It's actually kicking off here as the time of recording in an hour. And Aniplex has been, dropping hits here and there about it. And one that has caught people's attention in particular is this 2-part hint, where it says they're making an announcement about a series that has TV movie releases and has April Fools. The interesting thing about this is everyone immediately just, snapped their head up like they smelled a fart on the wind. It was all like, Strange Fake! It's a Strange Fake anime! Because, of course, Fate is very big, has several TV series and movie adaptations, and if I remember correctly, I do believe this is how it started. Strange Fake was originally an April Fool's joke, I believe.
In general, Fate is infamous for its April Fool's jokes. Like,
yes.
Type Moon has done some very elaborate gags for one day a year.
Mm-hmm. So, a lot of people are expecting a Strange Fake announcement, which would not be amiss. Like I said, I am eternally molding over the light novel CM they did New Year's that one New Year's.
He fucking did one just to get more manga sales, and everybody that's that one fucking meme. Everyone disliked that.
I mean, I like the trailer because
yes, the animation was good, but the reason why they made it and put it out there was just like everybody was just deeply disappointed.
Well, like I said, all things good things come to wait. Like remember we had this exact same reaction when they did the CM for Ancient Magus Bride, and turns out guess what? Now that the arc is actually almost finished in the manga, they have confirmed that there is a new season in the works. So yay!
Yay!
So this might be that too. I will say to everyone though, please temper thine expectations, because while Strange Fake was also my first thought, I do want to point out this is Aniplex, and Aniplex does have a lot of titles under their belt that also fall under this criteria. A couple that come to mind immediately are Bakemonogatari and Those Rascal Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. So don't like put all your eggs in this basket and like smash it on the floor if it doesn't actually happen to be it.
Yeah, no,
but
like I said, they're just doing a tease. We don't know what it is. Don't go crazy because it's open ended.
Yes.
You know.
So there is that, and let's talk a little bit. Wow. So let's talk a little bit about what's happening over in JP and their Yamataikoku, their Shin Yamataikoku.
Yeah, I alluded to this earlier, but there were developments with the ongoing main story that were not necessarily like game updates that we can talk about because we yelled about them last week.
Yep. So, as I still find this like very weird timing for me, but yes, as you know, was posted last week, and as I literally figured out, as everyone else did apparently, Noriku has someone bolted onto them. It's Kodahime. Both of them, both people kind of got screwed by the Tokugawa shogunate, so maybe they bonded over that.
Yeah.
We finally got the third and final Ascension art, and it's pretty fucking sick.
Yeah. Some people were like talking about it being like more than one, but no, I've read translations of the profile notes. No, Sendo Rikyu. The big thing is that the angry ghostly presence with them is confirmed to be Kodahime.
Yeah, no, I was actually wondering if it was going to be all the courtesans bolted on, but no, it's just one.
Yeah. It's still, like, very famous. It's a very interesting, mashup. I'm sure there's a lot of direct story-related stuff. There was no, like, weird class change or anything. They just didn't want to reveal too much at once with the arts and the extra bond levels and stuff.
I do find it interesting that they did actually put a very big clue on it, because I'm pretty sure this is what gave it away for everyone, but in Sinariku's second ascension, the kimono that they are wearing is almost a direct reflection of the kimono recovered from Kodahime, and is on display, actually.
Yeah, it's in a museum somewhere that a lot of people were able to work on.
Yeah. So, another thing. The other thing that actually probably, like, super surprised everyone is that OKITA Alter got a costume, and it's a very, very important costume, because it turns OKITA Alter into basically her sword, Rengoku. Basically, OKITA gets very long hair, loses the breath, and has a masculine voice. They actually have a completely new voice actor for this. And this is what I'm like, well, I don't know if they're completely... I actually don't know who that voice actor is for Rengoku.
It would be... Because this is not completely without precedent, because as noted from Summer OKITA, that's also where we got the first run of Rengoku, who is, a tiny lad.
A tiny lad.
And yes, it's the same VA as that, I believe. It's Nakamura Yuichi? Yes, I think so. Hold on, I'm comparing and
But it's a very interesting idea, because this, I do believe, the first time that we've had a costume that has completely flipped the character's gender and stuff. And we have seen a couple, other instances of this, so this makes me want to ask, male comma when?
Yeah, I don't know, unless the wiki hasn't updated with it yet. I don't know for sure if it, like trait-wise, if it fucks with anything mechanically.
I don't know about that.
But it does include something that costumes do occasionally do. But it does include new voice lines.
Yes. So that's very exciting. And I think it's very interesting, honestly. They took a character, gender flipped it, and then just gender flipped it again. I'm like...
Yeah.
I was like, we're just spinning to win!
Without going, too weird with it, just, obviously, the origin of male Kama is, Kama explicitly states they were a male god and then became formless space god.
Nice.
And just so happened to have taken, Dark Sakura's body because it was compatible with their beastliness.
It's actually really interesting in their interlude. They actually say they are no longer that comma. The comma that eventually gets reborn and marries. They're like someone completely different. It's very interesting.
Yeah, that's probably an aspect of like aspects in titles. Technically the comma is, especially because of the way the Noble Phantasm works. This comma is the spatial comma, the formless body of love. Because the reincarnated one like has a new name and is basically a new person. They are spiritually the reincarnation, the next iteration in the cycle of the god comma, but they are not that person.
I would love we have male comma models. It's like redrop, get on that shit.
The main thing that would be complex, because costumes are usually one art slide, one sprite change. Would we do just one male comma change, or would we have to would we settle for one, or would we do different iterations?
Ooh, I didn't actually think about that. I was just all give.
Because again, we talked before about how we still don't have blue summer comma, because that was an actual sprite that appeared in story, wasn't used. It's not really that big of a deal. She's just blue, but it's just one of those cases where they obviously made we're 50% of the way to the assets anyway, but there's definitely some variance there. And yeah, it's interesting to see them toy around with all of the different things. So I find it interesting when they do these sorts of things to work with, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Oh, all the assets. Blue comma has a gameplay sprite. Okay, yeah, that's just we're being lazy. Well, not lazy because I guess they did all the work, but just come on, guys, you can figure out a place for these things. You randomly stuck this costume in the middle of this event, just like they stuck OKITA's ponytail costume in the middle of this event for no real reason, other than just it lets them have OKITA do a cool costume change midway through.
Lets them know that they're serious.
It's ponytail time. It's serious.
So that is super neat. I hope they do more stuff like this in the future.
Yeah, they definitely. I mean, obviously, we just talked about how that's how you get OKITA's ponytail costume is you just get it, playing the story in this event. But that seems like something they continue to be more and more willing to do is to when they have the space in the thing, they can do the work. It's just a question of the story context. Yeah, I also still the Gil thing is the most bamboozling. I don't think a lot of people realize that special story support Gil even has separate voice lines. It's shirtless Gil but hair up. And there's a lot we could do with that, and I just don't know why they haven't bothered. I mean, at this point, we're 7 years in. Maybe they just can't figure out the right time to do it. We've discussed this before. A lot of FGO's problems seem to be sourced with the somebody on the staff doesn't really seem to like giving you stuff for nothing. They don't like to conjure things out of thin air. They prefer to either tie it to campaigns that are supposed to be milestones or into story content. So, when we get away from the original story release, it's just well, even if we could do that, wouldn't be tied to anything. We don't want to make it come out of nowhere. I mean, Axe U has always phrased that in the most negative way possible. Yeah, it's difference on the modeling. I can kind of see the context because first of all, for instance, talking about Eye Patch Musashi, EORs are optional. They almost never get any love just because of the way they were structured. Mm-hmm. And so I could totally see that would be weird to put in a random login campaign because there would be people who would be what the fuck is this context? They've got so many new downloads and players and shit over there. It would be weird. For core story stuff though, if you're after a certain point, you have to have seen the Babylonia fight with Gil. Hopefully they haven't just forgotten where they, stored those sprite assets to introduce them other places.
Oh, excuse me.
I mean, we kind of did that, but they did new costumes for that. But yeah, so lots of interesting things going on. Very relevant considering we discussed a few of these things.
Yes, I don't know. I don't think there was anything else. I do know. I think they're talking about the next Road to 7.
Yes.
I didn't actually really write that down fully, though.
No, they're discussing whatever the next one is, but it's not, hard and fast yet. We'll get there eventually. A lot of people are clamoring for sorry, scratching my nose. People are talking about the buff schedule and whatnot.
Mm. So yeah, no. As we learn things, we will keep you guys updated. So make sure to turn in every week.
Yep, got to save something for next week's show. But yeah, so now the big one here. Final story wrapped. I'm not done with the post story yet myself.
Me neither.
Because I currently am using my phone to do audiobooks a lot, and it's very befuddling to try and play FGO and listen to audiobooks at the same time. I'm pretty sure I could do it, but that would require me to use many volume sliders.
Well, why don't you just set up Audible on your computer and just have your computer play it?
But then I have to sit at my computer.
You can't just turn... I'm sorry,
no, I don't have external speakers or audio bars or anything anymore.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute.
And I only have corded headphones. It's a very long cord, but it would be a little weird. I don't normally just sit at my computer desk and play on my phone. I am doing that right now, but that's because we're recording the show, so I'm multitasking. I used to have speakers, but they were just such a horrible pain in the butt to plug into stuff. I should look about getting some like USB audio bar or something if I can. Just so I can actually pump audio.
No, because like I have multiple like Bluetooth devices. I have audio. I have my computer audio bar, which I use, but then I also have wireless Bluetooth headsets. I have a Bluetooth speaker. My record player, my vinyl record player, also has a Bluetooth connection in it that I can hook up to my phone.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, so I'm just like, no, so like I apologize, but I just like had like it's one of those weird things of like I have so many options like to just move around and listen to music and I'm just
yeah, no, and I get that for some stuff. Like I've got, for instance, YouTube on like all of my devices. Like I can mix and match YouTube videos a lot. But yeah, no, I have not got a setup to just blare audio, and I only have a set of wired headphones. I mean, I do have Bluetooth earbuds, but they are currently synced to my phone, and I really don't want to go through the process of syncing them to every different thing all the time.
Yeah.
They're nice, though. I like them. It's just, there's only so many devices. I should probably eventually pick up a set of speakers, though. I think I threw my last one out.
If your computer is Bluetooth compatible, just see if you can get like some couple of Bluetooth speakers.
Yeah, I should try that. I haven't picked that up, and yes, it is. It's modern enough. It could Bluetooth hook up some stuff.
Bluetooth.
So I can figure that out sometime for future stuff.
But I'm in the same boat as you are. I have not gotten that far into the post game, but I did complete the main story.
Yeah, I would say for the post game part of it's just because it requires you to farm more resources again and even more bigger resources. So it's just like, okay, hold on, I got to set up time for that. That's what I'm doing right now, but not made of time infinitely. But completed main story. It was a pretty good deal. As usual, I talked about this before. Gudaguda does a wonderful job of blending the comedic with the serious.
Very much so.
Like, obviously, making Nobukatsu such a, key character, like, a lot of the time, he's just rattling around, elder sister this, elder sister that. But then, like, Nobu temporarily dies in story, and then he's just kind of, like, really sad for a little bit, and, like, gets all serious, and then tries to actually come back and do stuff. And shout out to him, he actually stabs Serizawa in the back. It doesn't stick because he's a servant and he's powered by a dog skull ghost.
Inugami.
Yeah.
I actually did some reading about that. Apparently, they were just known as it's not like fully confirmed because there's several theory, but no, like they were just referred to as, the dog people. Because apparently there was some totemic association back in the day.
Yeah.
It's a little wild. But I will say I think that is still one of my favorite scenes as, Nobukatsu's all like, no, fuck you, and all that stuff, and, literally makes way for the Demon King.
Yeah.
And just like, oh god, like that is a scene I think I definitely would want to see animated. Just, Demon King Nobunaga just like coming through and everyone's just like, oh my god.
I don't think,
oh my god.
I don't think Kukochiko is anything specific. And it might be a thing that comes back in the Shin Yamataikoku event. They might actually wrap that back around because there seems to be a lot of
I know the other
we
big
talked about the
keywords
realm of
there.
animals and stuff, and that some of that seems to be linked into Io's passive skills and stuff. So I feel like there's some future story elaboration to happen there. Now, I mentioned this in the Wanted. There was a story in one of the Chinese histories that a Chinese governor associated with Wei traveled to a region that would have been in Korea. And he observed that Yamatai, Queen Himiko, was fighting with a country which is only known in history as the dog slave country.
Yes.
But a lot of people like to talk about like imperialism and whatnot. The historical Chinese were absolutely brutal. Even the phrase they had for Japan, wa, is like meant to be diminutive. Very, very imperialist, but literally they just called this country Himiko was allegedly at war at the dog slave country, and basically the governor was like, hey, Queen Himiko of Yamatai is a friend of Wei, great queen of Wa, knock her the fuck off, go away, and it ends.
You know
And
what
that's all
chills
we
me
got.
the most about that? The
Yeah.
fucking name of the ruler was Himikoko. Yes, we have Queen Himiko on one side and King Himikoko on the other. I'm just all like,
I know. Yeah.
Really? Really?
I mean, technically, there is something to be said that, like, Himiko could have been pronounced Pimiko. It could have been written down with a P, and just Chinese didn't get it. So there's some flexibility there. But yeah, no.
But still, I'm just like,
But yeah, so, like, there could be some emphasis there for that's why there's the Inugami and the dog theme. But it seems to be based on some stuff I've done. I talked before about how in some of Nasu's interviews, like Bamboo Broom Diary and stuff, he's talked about how the Gudaguda events history world lines is not meant to be one-to-one for real history. So this could be a fantastical element designed to, like, you know, give us some extra shit to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think it's fair, like, Serizawa is interesting. I don't want to say he's cool, but, like, he's interesting, and he's a very human threat to, you know, our shinsengumi friends, and that the postscript fight where all three of them gang up on him, like, that's really neat.
That was really rad.
Yeah,
I loved it.
There's a lot of really rad samurai shit.
I really like his, like, I think he was a shitty person, but I love what they did with his sprite work after all that. With his sprite, like with the red skin, and then he had just everything.
Well, he wasn't that strong in real life. They're all servants. Even his attack sprite is still using the weird tsurugi that he had as, like, fused with that. Oh, I mean, I don't think he really fought them off that long. He still got killed. He just was, like, tough enough to block because he knew it was coming. They still got him. Like, he still died. But yeah, no. Like, that was a really hype moment. I joked about how the quest is kind of out of nowhere, but Saito and Okita having an old school one-on-one duel, and the rain starts with the particle effects and the sounds. Choice. There's a lot of really cool stuff like that. People are talking about Yakuza villains. This actually, honestly, I know they couldn't have, because they're in completely separate companies, like in the actual game development, but Sony was involved because it was at a state of play. I wonder about the excellent timing of the Yakuza Inshin announcement, right? Like, it was right in there. They happened at similar times. That's just conspiracy theory, by the way. Like, that's not, they didn't plan this out timing-wise. But it's a very good for timely, because honestly, this kind of stuff gets me way more excited to try out that game, because that is set in that time period.
Oh, yeah, no, like, they do an interesting thing of they use character models from other games as in there, and, like, I remember seeing that Okita Soji, and then it's just Goro Majima. By the way, the Majima construction theme has been living in my head fucking rent-free all day, and it's killing me.
Nice. But, like, yeah, and that's just kind of like that great, though, like, crossing, I'm like, damn, that's really cool. I want to see where that's going. Like, that's I don't know if it's like a day one buy. I might want to see how the port works. But, like, I'm just in this very great mood of, like, oh yeah, there's so much going on with these characters. It's so dense, right? Like, we have this whole thing with Yamanami as well. You know, the Serizawa faction and Yamanami and them sticking together, and then, of course, Serizawa is that guy who shanks his own comrade. But then at the end, he's like, I'm not quite dead. And there's a lot to be said, right, for, you know, certain characters being playable or not playable, etc. Like, I don't think Serizawa needs a playable servant version after this because of the way this event ends. But, like, they actually, it's very interesting that because of the 2-year gap, we know that Yamanami is playable. They phrase that ending very well so to set him up for future, because he, you know, disappears in a flash of light. I don't think they did the explicit servant unsummoned sound effect, but, like, you know, they played around with it. So yeah, like the samurai-esque stuff was very good.
Like I mentioned it before, all the shinsengumi we have right now is just from Kondo Asami's side.
Yeah.
Literally, so it makes sense. Like, I'm hoping they keep on this trend. Like, again, give me my playbook Kondo Asami.
Yes. And apart from that, we've also got obviously the kind of like the Demon King and like Himiko angle stuff, Nobukatsu showing off his third ascension sprite, and resummoning, Nobu, just being like, yeah, no, I'm back. And, like, if anybody's like, that's bullshit, I don't think you guys understand how Japan feels about Oda Nobunaga. Like, that is just a plot to so many, like, video games and anime and manga and shit that just, like, it's like the fucking Palpatine meme from Star Wars, like, sigh, somehow Oda Nobunaga has returned from the dead. Like,
I mean, I think it makes perfect sense to me because it's done explicitly by Nobukatsu, whose entire life purpose is to pave the way for the Demon King.
yes.
So as long as Nobukatsu wills it and believes in his sister, she will always come through.
Yeah,
always.
But also, like, it's just, that is so quintessentially part of, like, the modern Nobunaga folklore that, like, there were jokes for ages in, like, Britain about how old bony Napoleon is just going to come back and get you. Like, I swear to God, I'm not certain that, like, Japanese mothers aren't still telling their children, like, hey, make sure you're home by 5 or fucking Oda Nobunaga's going to come out and eat you. Like,
it's like the most ridiculous image, I think. Just fucking, like, modern Japan, like, fucking feudal lord no, just peeking around the corner. I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, but, like, that's, at least with, like, storytelling, that's how it feels sometimes. Like, he is such a boogeyman for no real reason other than he was like, yo, dog, I'm the boogeyman. Blah, I'm gonna burn out your temples. Blah. Look at my guns. So many guns.
My gold-plated skull. Big sip.
Yeah.
Want
but
bananas?
Yeah, there's some... I like the flashbacks, obviously, for the Shinsengumi stuff, but the Nobukatsu flashbacks as well are so powerful. Mm-hmm. And just... Damn, the final one of those where, like, it's... Obviously, they don't show her face, but it's Nobunaga's mother, like, protesting, like, you can't order your younger brother to commit seppuku, and Nobu's like, he betrayed me twice, you don't get to do that. We got rules in the society. And, like, mother is obviously very upset. I am a little saddened that we get these, like, extra, Katsue flashbacks, but...
They'll know someone Katsue.
He's still not summonable.
How dare.
Yeah. But, like, especially considering you really feel for him, like, that moment where it's just him and Nobukatsu, and he's just like, and now, Katsue, you're gonna go rat out to my sister. And he's like, are you sure about that? And he's like, dog, if you don't rat out to my sister, she's gonna make you kill yourself too. Like, you've also already betrayed her once. You will not be lucky the second time. Like, there's so much pathos in this writing. 'Cause, like, that, these characters are from historical periods that were that rife with this pathos, right? Like, somebody just mentioned Mitsuhide in there. Like, we still don't know from a historical perspective what that guy's deal was. Why the fuck did Mitsuhide decide to betray Nobunaga at Honnoji, right?
Right.
Like,
there's theories abound, but
we don't know because oh god, what was the joke? It was like he was the 7-day shogun, something like that. Like after betraying Nobunaga, he did not last long.
Listen, so, Monkey did like a super reverse and went, "Oh no, you fucking didn't."
Yeah, Mitsuhide is like, I have arranged the death of Oda Nobunaga. Now I am the shogun, and just Monkey's just there like, no, I'm already here. No, it's over. It's over, lol. And, like, nobody stopped to interview him about what his motivations were. So, like, there's so much drama in all of this, which all of these Gudaguda events usually do is, like, so good at portraying. But we also put this on top of, like, Yamatai as Japan's, mythic past, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't really know what was going on during the Yamatai era, when that would have been. So there's a lot to go on there. There's, the idea of, like, the kingdom of animals that we're, like, displacing with civilization. This is, I think, just a recurring Nasu theme, talking about, like, Age of Gods being cycled out for Age of Man and stuff, You can interpret animal spirits and fairies and other stuff like that. This kind of moment of revolution with, like, Himiko. Personally, I mean, I know it's very, very classic, but I am a sucker for oh yeah, I've been waiting like a bajillion years shit. Like, yeah, I know that's just the the A plot of Breath of the Wild, which actually, hold on, when did Breath of the Wild come out again? Nasu, hold on. But like the Himiko element of like you get slurped up into the realm of darkness, and then real life Himiko is just like chilling. She's just like, oh yeah, no, I got sucked up in the darkness like a bajillion years ago. It's fine. Yes, we've already
2017.
okay. I've been waiting for you. And now I shall combine with my servant self.
Super Himiko.
Yes. And they do a iteration of the CM main theme. It's not quite the same.
No, but it's still good.
Yeah, I know, it's really good. Somebody mentioned this in I think our NA spoiler channel, but like the fact that it's so hype it plays during the servant selection screen, which is not very common. They do occasionally pull that trick, but like that's like it's hype. And that's really interesting to like build to this climax and stuff.
Well, that's why this is what I like about Gudaguda. It's always so big and so hype. Like you look at the CM, shit's always, aside from usually like a couple Nobus in there being Nobu, it's like it's usually super fucking serious, and it's just usually punctuated with comedic things. Like even when Nobukatsu did the revival and Nobunaga comes in, she's all like, "Hey guys, I'm back," and then she looks at Sarasawa and she's like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah. Well, and she's confronted with the Inugami, but then she gets to pull her trump card and be like, "Ah,
oh, it's the vine, you say, huh?
If there is any mystic that humans have created by belief, I shall destroy it." But yeah, no, the soundtrack arrangements for these and the sound design, like I said, is really good. Like I said, just that moment with the Saito versus OKITA, where it's just like the fog comes in and then the rain hits, and you're just like, "Damn, these real." I defeated that.
I literally did that fight in one turn, though. It felt slightly anticlimactic.
I think it took me 2 turns, but that's because one of those turns he popped a evade. RNG.
I think, yeah, because I think I popped Shukichi and did like Buster quick, and he just died. Shout out to FGO for just giving me story fights, though.
Yeah,
like I love the fact that I could just do Okita versus Saito, and then Kamo versus Hijikata, Saito, and Okita. I love that. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Especially since, I don't have, like, those servants, because I definitely am a person who will try to match my team to the fight and, in a thematic and story sense.
Yeah.
So, the fact that the game's just like, "Nah, we got you, fam," I'm like, oh, thank you. I love that.
And because that also usually, like, when they do, like, some of those story setup fights, that also is, like, in those cases, those are without master, so they're locking you out of MC and seals.
Mm-hmm.
That can be a way to, like, build a little more tension, because it's like, you just gotta use the cards you're dealt, And
usually,
it works out.
It usually works out because usually they're a little generous with their kits and whatnot. Usually
then of course, obviously we have all those great moments and all that stuff. We haven't even mentioned, but shout out to our boy brother Tortoise.
Yep, no, that was good stuff.
Like a lot of interesting back and forth moments, and they even bring up a story reason for why he has no name.
Mm-hmm.
He gave it up. But, like, we go through all those serious moments at the climax, and then we're right back to the funny.
Oh, I thought that was a reference to that unnamed male servant in Himiko's employ.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a
or
thing.
Also, even Himiko was said to have a younger brother, but he is not named.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Chronicles of Wei have a very I don't know if they, like, got a press release or something, but they have a very specific story for how Himiko came to power and how she rules her country. But yeah, but we go through all that, and then we immediately pivot back to the unserious as, like, it like the Great Beyond or the Throne of Heroes or whatever, Io and Himiko are arguing.
It starts off all very nice, and then, Himiko says, "All right, I'm going back to the Great Light Beyond," and Io's like, "Hold the fuck up. You're going to the future." And she's like, "No, never, no, never."
And he's like, "But, no, you can't do that to me. I'm still stuck here."
It's like,
you made the future person sound so cool. Well, I'm sure you'll get something someday. Bye.
Bye. And I love the little effect of the light spark just fleeing into the background.
The little light sparkle just jumps into the background. And then it turns out Himiko is like, "And that's how I came here."
I'm sorry. I was just like, Io, I'll summon you in the future, I swear.
Yes, I know. Well, and it's easy because they made her a welfare.
Yeah.
Good job, team.
This was extremely, extremely well timed.
Yes. Like I said, so the thing about, Yakuza Inshin being, Like a Dragon Inshin being, pitched by a Sony event at the same time this came out, that's just deep conspiracy thoughts. That's not real. It's just a happy coincidence. the timing of them moving our Yamataikoku to be in this period, roughly when Japan is going through a Yamataikoku, that has to be deliberate. Albert has literally talked about at panels. I think he talked about it at the AX panel where he was sitting next to Kano-san, about like clairvoyance and our awareness of things to come, right?
Right.
So like they are aware, we are aware, and it kind of builds this extra overlap where like you get to go through the story and then we get to have the context of like, oh yeah, they're not just we're not just joshing when we say we'll summon Io one of these days. Like usually FGO, I mean, yes, I know Losengo and Sony are under there, but like I said, that's still Ryuga Gotoku and Sega and stuff, Umbrella and like TGS stuff. Like I don't think that Sony's making big dick money moves to pull those initial releases just so they can, get a funny with one of their mobile games they own.
No, like a lot of I actually did some reading about this. Like a Dragon Ishin has become across because one, Ghost of Tsushima was super popular, and two, because Ishin is less of a hot seat than Kenzan. Because I believe the other one actually deals, like its main story deals with child prostitution, which probably would not go over well with Western audiences.
Yeah.
Suffice to say.
But like that, like Ishin is obviously a major coup for Sony in terms of like being the first to press, and I don't know if it's a console exclusive to PS5.
I think it might be.
They talked about it like it was, but I'm not sure. In that case, they may have even forked over some money to handle some of the revamping. But like, the thing is, that works because, like Lucky mentioned, part of the reason why RGG was even interested in actually doing a localization or a translation, even because they're not bothering with a localized audio track. So we'll even see how they handle the text. But like they're finally doing an international release because Ghost of Tsushima, a first-party Sony title, did so well that they're like, oh shit, people want samurai drama, and I'm like, yes, I want samurai drama. Damn you, give me the goods. So yeah, like I understand that like Sony is throwing a lot of money around at these problems. I do not think that like the guys running PlayStation, state of plays are talking to the guys to like run, Losengo or Aniplex or whatever. It's just a happy coincidence. But like I said, Losengo timing this all out is almost assuredly like, their whole thing. And I'm not going to assume that like they would have known ahead of time that, I mean, I guess they could have guesstimated some stuff because RGG announced they were going to have a summit at TGS a little ahead of time. But FGO events take like 6 months to a year to get ready. So like obviously all of this current stuff is planned out way ahead of time. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I feel like it has to be a deliberate design they did to actually like grab this stuff and they were like, oh, we're bringing back Yamataikoku finally. We're going to pay off on a couple of stuff. We'll bring back Yamanami and Io and stuff. And then somebody in their, their worldwide or global development or whatever they call that department. I forget. They actually have a name for the department that handles, like relations to other servers, was like, oh, hey, we've got a huge gap in the schedule. I know what we'll do. We'll release the original Gudaguda Yamataikoku around this time because, they understand that a decent number of a non-zero number of players playing on JP are from the wider world anyway, because that's the most up-to-date version, and there is that clairvoyance effect. So it worked out really well, because we know these things. We know that Yamanami is coming as a summonable unit, and we know that Io's going to be the welfare.
Very nice.
Yeah, it works out. But overall, the event is really cool. I like this one a lot, because like I said, they do a really good job of interplaying the real-life history and the dramatized version of events, right? The historical drama stuff with the flashbacks every chapter and all that other stuff. And then also including, the actual fate stuff going on. And still, like I said, hitting those comedic beats, Like, the postscript starts with Da Vinci accidentally invented super invasive super rice, and because the people she sent to rescue us were idiots, and we left them behind because Himiko did not ray shift us back. She just put us back in time. They're stuck there. So they created a second singularity where they fucked over the time-space continuum.
They were hungry, what can you say?
It's true. So, like, that's our quest to go back and destroy and gather all the rice.
Ow.
But yeah, so this is another really good Gudaguda for the Guda books.
Good books.
I'm interested to see about the couple of extra yokums and gagums, the funnies, and see what other stuff we got. The postscript seems like it's probably going to be non-serious. Well, this is a lot easier than the Semiramis event because we don't have to climb 2 million chocolate points or whatever.
Ugh.
So much chocolate. But yeah, no. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, how you like this event, parts you liked and what other stuff, if this gets you juiced up for any other stuff. I know I'm ready to read the follow-up to this event in a couple years' time as well. Seems pretty neato. Burrito. But I don't think I have any more articulated thoughts to say about Yamataikoku. It's just good. It's good. I like all the stuff.
It's just good.
I like the bits and the bobs. Okay. But that about does it for us. We did make it over 2 hours on the Raw. Let's see. Lucky talked about the stuff that I usually forget until the end, so with the free talk stuff, so we don't need to yell about that. Obviously, the Aniplex stuff is coming soon, so depending on things, we might either mention that on What's Up with Omega and Lucky. That's recorded live, streamed to our YouTube. You can find it usually the day after this release goes public to YouTube, and you can check out the VODs literally whenever. So hey, if you're slam jamming on any future content you want, you can go ahead and get us in there. The show is a little late, but I did not prep for it, so we will do Fanservant Friday next week, because that'll be the 30th, the last day in the last week in the month. And I genuinely do not know what we'll be talking about next week. Obviously, I'm sure FGO, because I think Yamataikoku ends 4 days remaining, so less than a week. That's 4 days, also counting for the fact that the 1 day is the 24-hour mark, so there's a little bit of wiggle room. But presumably we will have something other than the Solomon stream thing to work on. Do we have a interlude campaign coming up? No, we just did that. Or was that a hunting quest we did? I feel like there was another gap thing, but we might have to get creative. Do expect probably, I do think it will actually be in October, but I do not know how long into October Scramble is going to be. So keep your eyes out for that one, and we'll try and bring you a pregame in a timely fashion on that. And also, I will have to do some Wanteds and I will die, because literally there's 2 SSRs on the same banner right away. How dare. I might have to space that one out a little bit, depending. But yeah, as we always say, if you feel like this show's a little bit lean, I know this doesn't always get the clicks and the juice if they're shorter. But we have loads of content you can check out. Like, obviously, we talked about What's Up will be coming, but also last week we had a What's Up. It was 5.5 hours long. This is why I talked about how I think I missed a couple of raid reps, because I was editing the audio version of that, available for patrons. Been streaming some Final Fantasy XIV. We did a little bit of a shorter stream this week because after Loth and Lucky left, it was very low energy on the stream. Though I did persist long enough to finally get my bird.
Oh, yay.
I am now become bird, so we'll have fun playing around with that next week. Again, assuming that I have not been hurricaned. But there was also a fairly healthy stream this week, which you guys did at least watch, thank you, of Lucky playing Mega Man X2. We yelled at that game a lot.
We did. I'm still not entirely sure what I want to do about that for Monday.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just down for just fucking slam through that last boss or whatever and beat up those guys and we'll go home. We'll get a wrap-up instance. It's annoying, but the general consensus which we got from our own chat was just nobody gives a fuck about the X Hunters, just go for it. I don't necessarily feel like that, but that seems to be how people play that game is generally accepted, so whatever. We'll see. We got a couple of days to figure it out. Also, if you want more of us, we have an AP series. Both parts of Lucky's Wild Talents game, Childhood's End, are up, so, you can enjoy that for some extended periods as well. I do not know exactly, nor does Lucky, I should also put that out there, nor does Lucky know exactly when the next bit of that will be coming, but it's still, the first session was about 4 hours, this one's about 3.5 hours, so there's still some solid-ass content in there, which you should go check out, which people have done. The first part of Childhood's ends up to 87 views. Thank you for checking that one out. Scrolling through some stuff, I know some people are keen on that. Make sure, if you watch the first part, to watch the second part. If you want to hear more about some, Himiko Fact, Yamatai stuff, that one, it is out there. And as usual, I do not know what the YouTube algorithm is doing. I know some people are like, man, long-form content is dying. And I'm like, But if my videos aren't 4 hours long, I get like way less views on them. I don't understand it. But yeah, go ahead and check out that Wanted as well. And we've got plenty of other stuff for you to hit up. As a reminder, for that Fanservant Friday, it will be Egglay, Queen of Serpents, if you've never heard that story. I also have no idea, by the way, if I'm saying that right. There's a little bit of emphasis on there. Yeah, no, it's a dot over the E, and I'm like, I have no fucking idea what that means. But that is a fairy tale from the region of the Baltic Sea, so one that I thought was pretty cool and thematic. So we'll get into that one next, Tim. See, I got my next Tim out early. Oh, but okay, I will flexy my bones, and we'll do the outro. And everybody, do your homework for the What's Up. Make sure you watch Cyberpunk Edge Runners, because you should do that anyway, and make sure you're caught up on the Locked Tomb. We'll get on out of here so Lucky can go finish that audiobook.
Oh.
But if we're doing the outro, that means that it goes a little something like this. If you're watching this video on YouTube, be sure to give it a like if you liked it, and even if you didn't like it. We don't even know what the dislike button does anymore. A true actual fact, by the way. If you dislike a video to like make it show up less in your feeds, apparently that's not how the YouTube algorithm thinks. I don't know. It's weird. I think you should just not click on things you don't want to see. Ignore them. Anyway, throw us a like, throw us a comment, like I said, in the comment section down below. What, your thoughts on Yamataikoku and all the servants and story beats and whatnots. You can also join our Discord. That link is in the video description and channel page as well. So check that out. Also, I think it's just discord.gg/Studio Omega. We've got a custom URL as well. It's easy to do. You may be able to just freehand it, but in case you can't, click it. It's right there. If you are new here, please remember to subscribe to the channel to get more videos, more podcasts, more wanteds, more streams, all kinds of fun stuff. And even if you're subscribed, make sure to hit that bell for notifications so you always know when we're posting a new video or when we're streaming.
Yeah.
Get you those sweet, sweet updates. You can also join our channel memberships. It's a wonderful way to support us, to make sure Lucky can budget that tablet and can eventually afford to buy junk food. You want Lucky to buy burritos, don't you? With our audience, I'm not sure that that's not true. That may not just be a joke. But yeah, you can consider supporting us on channel memberships. You get access to membership badges and emotes. It's very fun. The more members we get, the more badges we can do. And more emotes we can do, I should say. And it's fun time. And like I said at the front of the show, also consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get this episode in audio format for as little as $1 a month or approximately $10 a year if you do an annual membership. You can get access to topic polls like the Fanservant Friday poll and other stuff going on. And, of course, you can get access to many other things, such as listening to us record Let's Talk FGO Live. You can be part of the patron chat we keep yelling at all the time.
All the time.
Be part of this interesting back and forths. And I think that is everything for this week with Let's Talk. So we'll see you next week for more Let's Talk, and we'll see you later for What's Up. Goodbye, everybody.
Have a good evening.